Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a group of molecules that are absolutely essential to life, but they have a bit of a reputation. We usually just call them fat. But believe me, there is so much more to the story. Okay, so take a look at this. What could butter, the very stuff our cells are made of, and cholesterol possibly have in common? It sounds like a trick question, right? But they all belong to this huge, super diverse family of molecules called lipids. So what's the secret handshake to get into the lipid club? It's actually incredibly simple. It all comes down to one rule. They do not mix with water. That's it. In chemistry speak, we call them nonpolar. And you'll want to remember that, because this one little fact, well, it explains everything. All right, let's start with the big one, the one everybody knows, the molecule we usually just call fat. Its proper name, though, is a triglyceride. So how do you build one? It's pretty straightforward, actually. You start with a little 3-carbon molecule called glycerol. Think of it like a backbone. And then you attach 3 long fatty acid chains to it. And it's these long, kind of greasy chains that are the reason the whole thing just refuses to mix with water. But not all fatty acids are created equal. And this is where things get really cool. Saturated fats, their chains are perfectly straight. This lets them stack together really neatly and tightly, which is why they're solid at room temperature. Yep, like a stick of butter. But unsaturated fats have a little kink in their chain, thanks to a double bond. This bend means they can't pack together so well, and what happens? They stay liquid, just like olive oil. Okay, so we've got our basic fat molecule down. Now what if we played Dr. Frankenstein a little bit? What if we took that triglyceride and made just one tiny change? So instead of that 3rd fatty acid chain, we're going to pluck it off. And in its place, we're going to stick on a phosphate group. And bam, that one little swap gives us a totally new molecule called a phospholipid. You can see it still has the glycerol backbone and 2 of those fatty acid tails, but now it's got this new phosphate head. And this is the game changer right here. That phosphate head is charged, which means it's polar. And polar things love water. So all of a sudden, you have this molecule with a complete split personality. It's got these 2 nonpolar tails that are terrified of water, and this one polar head that can't get enough of it. Water-fearing on one end, water-loving on the other. So why should you care about this molecular identity crisis? Because, and this is no exaggeration, this dual nature is a biological superpower. It's what allows these molecules to build the very containers of life itself. Okay, check this out. When you throw a bunch of these phospholipids into water, something incredible happens. They do this all on their own. The tails, remember, they hate water, so they all scramble to get away, huddling together on the inside. Meanwhile, the heads, which love water, all face outwards. And what you get spontaneously is this perfect, stable, double-layered sheet, a bilayer. It's literally chemistry building itself. And this simple structure is just so versatile. That bilayer, that's the blueprint for every single cell membrane in your body. It's what separates the inside of a cell from the outside world. But they can also form these little spheres called micelles, which trap greasy stuff in their water-fearing center. And if that sounds familiar, it should. That's exactly how soap works to wash oil off your hands. All right, so just when you think you've got the pattern down, glycerol backbone, long chains, the lipid family throws us a curveball. Meet the family outlier, the steroid. And the key to spotting a steroid in a lineup, it all comes down to one magic number. And that number is 4. Every single steroid, whether it's cholesterol or hormones like testosterone, shares this core structure of 4 carbon rings all fused together. I mean, look at it. It looks nothing like those long, dangly chains of the other lipids, right? It's a totally different design. So the obvious question is, if it looks so weird and different, why on earth is it considered a lipid? It doesn't have the fatty acid tails. What gives? Well, what was our one rule? It all comes back to that. Despite that complicated ring structure, the molecule as a whole is overwhelmingly nonpolar. It won't dissolve in water. And that's it. That's the only ticket you need to get into the lipid family. So welcome to the club, steroid. Okay, let's zoom out for a second and just appreciate what's going on here. We have all this amazing variety, all springing from one super simple chemical principle. When you put them all side by side like this, it just clicks. The triglyceride is like a pure energy storage brick, simple and efficient. The phospholipid, with its split personality, is the master architect, building the walls of our cells. And the steroid, with its unique ring shape, acts like a tiny molecular messenger, carrying signals throughout the body. Completely different structures, totally different jobs, but all part of the same family because they follow that one simple rule. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's how one incredibly